Hello YouTube, welcome back to another deck profile. This is technically my first EX4 deck profile, but it's also BT12 Ultimate Cup format deck profile, with only a few changes in between, and I'll tell you what those changes are when we get there. This yellow hybrid deck, I am seriously considering it for the Ultimate Cup this weekend coming up, and not to mention that it is a very good pick in EX4 in my opinion. What makes it so good? I'm gonna tell you. Don't you worry about it. If you guys like this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn notification bell to smash potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos go live. Hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. All right, yellow hybrid eggs. 4 Upamons and 1 Viximon. The Upamons let you draw when you attack, 3 security or less. Viximon, when you activate an option card, draw a card. This condition happens way more in this condition. We only actually play 6 options in both the Ultimate Cup and EX4 versions of this deck. So Viximon does get you some cards here and there, but it really is about the Upamon. We like that, it is fine. So the whole name of the game is to keep yourself at around 3 security the whole time, and we are still on the Lopmon package. I'm a very big fan of the Lopmon package. So we're playing 4 copies of the Lopmon that heals you if you have Thriller Security, if you have Shu Chongguang on the field when you play this. The card's really powerful. And we do play 1 copy of this Lopmon. In my opinion, it's a lot worse because it doesn't actually heal you. But it does let you manipulate your security, take a card from it, and then draw another card. Effectively Pot of Greed. That reduces your security count by 1. It definitely can come up and can be scary in some situations, just getting 2 cards out of nowhere. Especially if they hit a Shuchong in security and you play this, and then you get 2 more cards to help retaliate your opponents. It's pretty powerful. But not as powerful as healing. So 1 and 4 copies is fine. We're playing 2 copies of Patamon. Once per turn, when you gain DP, or you deplete someone by DP, gain memory. We do play Rapid Mons, we play other means of DP reduction. So 2 Patamon I think is fine. And then the last 2 rookies are the 2 copies of Pillowmon. Pillowmon here, as an alternative, that says players can't play cards by effects. Now, this only messes you up if you have this and play Shuchong, but it is better in EX4 than it is in BT13, or sorry, BT12 Ultimate Cup format. Not many decks right now play things by effect, so I'm playing 2 in monocolor Ultimate Cup format, but in EX4 you have a lot more decks that can just play cards out of nowhere. Not a lot, but it happens a little bit more. So the first change in the deck going from BT12 to EX4 is this Patamon here actually becomes a 3rd Pillowmon. And in testing, that's been doing fine. The Patamon doesn't come up as much as you think it does. It's there for magic and memory numbers, but besides that, it's not as good as a Floodgate. So I do play 3 Pillowmon, 1 Patamon in EX4 format, but in BT12 format, 2 Patas and 2 Pillows are fine. Now, on to the champions. And by the way, there's 9 champions. It's fine for yellow hybrid. It's not a big deal. We have 4 Kaze, 4 Zephyr. We play our 8 champion hybrids because you have to play it. That's mandatory, in my opinion. And then we play 2 copies of Rapidmon as our backup champions. Ideally, if all this on Patamon, you pop something. Effectively, it costs 3 memory to do that. Also, it's Armor Purge, so you get your rookie back at the end of the day. And that's not a bad thing at all. It's there as like a tool that suspends blockers sometimes, so that you can do hybrid pushes or big boss pushes. But it also allows you to just delete wide boards, which is pretty good. I find a little more valuable in EX4. Not valuable enough to play more copies, but Rapidmon is pretty good. I can't complain. On to the ultimates. 1 copy of Jet Sylphie because for some reason Jet Sylphie is still at 1. We play 4 copies of this Rise Greymon. This Rise Greymon is the one that costs 3 to play a Tamer. It also gives you security +1 if you have 3 or more Tamers on the field. To follow this up, I am playing 2 copies of the Rise Grey X. 4 to evolve regularly, 1 to evolve on a Rise Grey. You play a Tamer. It does not negate the on-play. And then if you evolve it on a Rise Grey, you do 2,000 DP damage, something for every Tamer you have. Now, the reason I play this wonky ratio is because I was playing 3 and 3 for a while. For a long time. But recently, I've been having influxes where I'm drawing this a lot. I'm not really drawing these ones. But I switched it around, and all of a sudden, I'm drawing a lot more Rise Greys. And then I draw this a little bit less, but when it comes up, it really hits because there's always a Rise Greymon now in the stack. So it's actually turned out to be a really good value pick. There's only a couple Tamers on the deck with on-play abilities. So, and even if you need to play a TK or Shuchong or something, Rise Gray, that one, if you lose the on-play sometimes it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. And usually just play one of the other Tamers anyway. So really not a big deal at all. This lineup has been a blessing to me since I changed it to 4 and 2. I do recommend you guys give it a try. And then the final Digimon in the deck, we are playing 4 copies of Venusmon. Venusmon is broken. Venusmon is one of the best Digimon in all of Digimon. The moving floodgate that this card is to reduce security when you evolve it for the turn, global effect. Then anything with a security attack modifier can't attack it or can't activate when attacking or drawing effects is pretty broken. Venusmon chaining is really powerful. Venusmon itself is really freaking strong, especially in BT12 format. The EX4 loses a little bit of value, but still really comes up. Obviously, there is a lot of when digivolving stuff happening, and a lot of when attacking. So Venusmon, definitely a 4 in my opinion. Card is pretty broken. Now, on to the Tamers. The Tamers. We play 4 copies of TK to memory tamer that adds a card to your hand from your security, and then you recover one. Card's broken. We're down to 3 Tai and Kari. You gain memory if you have 3 or less security. You gain the memory if your opponent has 3 or less security. It's a red-yellow tamer, and it makes your opponent's security a little squishier every turn. Card is pretty good. It gets extra memory. You're usually always at 3, so this always gives you value. And then once you get to your opponent to 3, if they're a deck that can't heal, all of a sudden this is getting you a lot of value and a lot of mileage. So the card's really good. We obviously play 2 copies of the Shu Chongwang. So when you play a lot more from your hand. It does not negate the on-play. Start of your turn, though. Draw a card if you have 3 or less security. This Tamer is the reason I really like the Lot 1 package. I wish I could play more Shuchongs, but unfortunately deck space is really tight with this deck. But being able to draw an extra card every turn, if you have 3 or less security, you're drawing 2 cards per turn. That's really good. You know what I mean? Shuchong is really powerful. I would really try to find room for a 3rd if you can. I just can't see it right now. We play 2 copies of Cody. Cody has a start of main phase, control yellow Digimon gain memory. And then when one of your Digimon 2 or more colors attacks, you suspend this to give something minus 1000 DP for the turn. So it only works with Rise Gray X and only works with Rapidmon. But those are enough targets for Cody for that minus 2000 that lets you hit magic numbers sometimes. And the extra memory does come in clutch sometimes. So 2 Cody is good. We're also on 2 copies of TK and Kari. TK and Kari gains you 2 memory at the start of your turn if you're losing. And then your turn, when you do attack, you suspend this to give something minus 1000 DP. It is there for the extra 2 memory when you're losing. It's really easy to just stay 1 security behind your opponent at all times. It's really easy to manipulate it where like you're at 2 and they're at 3. And then you're getting so much value of Tai Karis and TK Karis that's insane. You can usually win with that amount of memory. So this card is really good as 2 in my opinion. Last Tamer we're playing in the deck is the 1 copy of the TK and Izzy. You gain a memory at the start of your turn if you control level 5 or higher Digimon, and so does your opponent. When you're or you gain 1 if your opponent does. When you evolve, minus 1000 DP to something. In EX4, in BT12 format, there's a lot of stacked decks. You know, there's Beelzemon, there's Machine Dramon. Like, you're gonna get a lot of value from this card for sure. You just take a Rise Ground board, you're gaining memory. Venusmon is usually uninteractable, you're getting a memory at the start of your turn after that. That's pretty powerful. EX4 has a lot of decks that also build big stacks. You know, there's Alliance, there's Blue Flare, there's the Omnimon deck. Very easy to trigger this memory. A little more conditional, which is why we only play 1 copy of it, but the card is really good. I do recommend giving it a try. On to the options. We play 1 copy of Reinforce because it's limited, 1 copy of Sunrise because it's limited, and this is the last 4 cards of the deck, but this changes depending on the format. 4 copies of Lonky for Machine Dramon. Basically, if you have 3 less security, you bounce something to security. It gets around all of that Machine Dramon protection, gets around all that Greymon X protection. It does not care. And you're usually sitting at 3 or less security. By the way, if you're 3 or above, you do 12,000 DP damage to something. So if you can sweet spot yourself at 3, you have an 8 cost option that does 12,000 damage to something, which is killing something, and then putting it in security. Can potentially out 2 threats. If it's like the 4th security card and it flips over, you have 3 security left, it activates both effects as well. In Ultimate Cup format, I love this card as a 4 of. It gives you legs in the Machine Dramon matchup. EX4, not so much, because in EX4, it's a little more aggressive. Machine Dramon's not as prevalent. Those protections that you need Wonky for are not that prevalent. Things are a little more aggressive in EX4 because of things like Blue Flare. And while Wonky is still good, it is not a 4 of. So in EX4 format, these two Lonkies are Holy Flames. We all know how much I love Holy Flame, and it's a absolute sin and sacrilegious that I'm not playing it during Ultimate Cup format. But it's just so bad in Ultimate Cup format. In EX4, though, you know, they might be a little more aggressive, swinging your security, but Holy Flame, the turn's over. And that's why Holy Flame is really good. That's all I'm going to say with that. That's it for the deck profile. Let's do some closing thoughts here. Alrighty, that's Yellow Hybrid. I really do feel like this deck has a strong place in EX4, and I'm definitely considering playing it at Ultimate Cup coming up, because I want to do well, and I think Yellow Hybrid can get me there. But what do you guys think about the deck profile? You let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will see you later. Bye!